7. Now, it might be hard to believe, but 40 years ago today, thousands of people were descending on a small village on the outskirts of Lincoln for a massive music festival. The Great Western Festival featured the biggest acts of the 1970s, including, just listen to this, the Beach Boys, Roxy Music, the Faces. Our reporter Sarah Corker is live at Tuphome Abbey near Bardney, where the whole event took place all those years ago. How is the festival being remembered there today, Sarah?
Well, Peter, picture the scene here 40 years ago. Tens of thousands of music fans descended on this part of rural Lincolnshire, and it all happened here in the fields surrounding Tuphome Abbey in the distance behind me there. Well, unlike today's sunshine, the weather was a disaster. Heavy rain turned this whole area into a mud bath, and this week villagers have been looking back at a weekend they'll never forget. The lineup reads like a virtual who's who of the 1970s. The Bardney Festival was the biggest pop show Lincolnshire had ever seen.
The fans have been arriving all week from many parts of Britain and abroad.
They braved the wind and the rain to pay homage to some of the world's greatest musicians.
The names, what attracted the people, was 40, 50,000 people appeared, and it's unbelievable when you look down at the names. You've got Genesis as virtually at the bottom of the bill.
This rare collection of memorabilia marks 4 decades since the now infamous event.
It must have been the best. If you could have that lineup, it would be just incredible. I mean, where'd you get, and how would you get Rod Stewart, Genesis? You're talking about the biggest bands what's ever lived.
A small corner of Lincolnshire was transformed overnight, but it almost didn't happen, with strong opposition from locals and a court case to try and stop it.
Well, it was an event that the village were afraid of to start with. I think that's why there was some opposition, because it was the unknown.
It was good for the village. As everybody said, the pub was drunk dry, the shops was emptied. It was a really good time.
It was unbelievable to see the people going past. It was just amazing.
A young police officer at the time, Dave Buckley, remembers the challenge of trying to keep things under control.
It was a major event, and there were police officers from the whole of the Midlands area and South Yorkshire. It was the first time they'd ever used helicopters in this area and probably in the rest of the country.
Today, people here reminisce about the summer of 1972. The village survived the hippie invasion, but the festival didn't, and they've never seen anything quite like it since. Well, despite its popularity, the show made a loss and was described by some as a pop flop. But people here have fond memories, whether it be sharing a drink with the Beach Boys in the local pub or making a little bit of extra money from the visitors. But it will be remembered. They'll still be talking about this festival for many years to come, and we'll always remember it. Back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Beach Boys at the local pub. What a great story. Memories there of 40 years ago at Bardney. Now let's have a recap of the main national and regional headlines tonight. The Prime Minister stands by his Culture Secretary, insisting that Jeremy Hunt acted